Underneath the Stars, a Christian play about relationships and families. The distant chime of Big Ben echoes through a misty London evening, blending with the squawk of a Newcastle magpie. Narrator: Wagwan, pet, gather round, don't be shy. We're in London town where the buses fly by. It's Friday, October the 10th, 2014. A family of faith is about to be seen. At 33 Merritt Road, the lights are all bright as a meticulous plan comes to life for the night. Maddie and Chris, with their Newcastle cheer, are ready to lead without any fear. Maddie: away man, Chris. Is the motorhome packed? If we miss the sunset, my heart will be cracked. Chris: don't be a meshugane, Maddie, my love. We're guided by grace from the Father above. Narrator: they've lived in the South for many a year, but their Geordie accents are perfectly clear. Maddie is 43, strong and quite kind, while Chris is 36 with a brilliant mind. They've opened their hearts to three lasses so fair, with a home full of laughter and plenty of prayer. Maddie: the road to Lee Valley is calling our name. A camping adventure is part of the game. Chris: the girls are all ready, their spirits are high. Let's look for the stars in the great London sky. Narrator: now Lily Mae Collins is 15 and smart, with a blonde ponytail and a very big heart. She's in year 11, her GCSEs near, aiming for 9s and some 5s. That is clear. But she's feeling the pressure, the stress, and the weight of trying to keep her whole future quite straight. Lily Mae: I've got biology notes and my maths in this bag. My brain is so full that my shoulders might sag. This trip is a flamboyant waste of my time, when I should be learning a sonnet or rhyme. Narrator: Rosie is 11 with plaits in her hair, a year 7 student who hasn't a care. And little Poppy is 9, with bunches so sweet, she's in year 5, and she's light on her feet. They both have green eyes, like their sister so tall, the Collins girls follow the Lord's holy call. Rosie: don't be so grumpy, our Lily Mae pet. This camping trip might be the best one yet. Poppy: I've packed all my dolls and a blanket for cold. I hope that the forest is bright and is gold. Narrator: and don't forget Teapot, the star of the show, a terrier dog who is ready to go. She's missing a leg, she's a tripod of fun, and she loves to go hopping out into the sun. She's female and feisty, with ears that are wide, and she's always right there by her master's side. Maddie: come on, little Teapot, hop into the van. You're the bravest member of this Perry clan. Narrator: she yapped with delight on her 3 sturdy paws, obeying the family's soft, loving laws. Narrator: they piled into Mandy, the motorhome blue. It felt like a ship for a wonderful crew. But the luggage was heavy, the cupboards were tight, as they started their journey into the night. Chris: is everyone buckled? Is Teapot all set? We haven't forgotten a single thing yet. Lily Mae: I hope there is Wi-Fi for revision and notes, or I'll be as lost as a raft without boats. Narrator: Mandy the motorhome groaned with the load as Maddie steered carefully onto the road. The rumble of tires on the tarmac and the humming of a happy family. Narrator: they drove through the streets of Crofton Park as the evening turned slowly from golden to dark. They sang a few hymns as they rolled through the town, with nobody wearing a worry or frown. Maddie: Philippians 4:13 is the one. Through Christ we have strength till the journey is done. Rosie: I love this old Mandy. She's cozy and sweet, even if there's no room for my tired old feet. Narrator: but then came the moment the trouble began, a crack in the armor of Maddie's big plan. He looked for the map that would show him the way, but Lily Mae's face was a shadow of gray. Maddie: Lily Mae, darling, where's the Lee Valley map? It should be right there on your scholarly lap. Lily Mae: I think it's at home. Oh, oy vey, what a mess. I was busy with science, I must now confess. Narrator: Without any map, they were driving in circles, as lost as a pair of confused, tiny turtles. Narrator. Then, Mandy began to splutter and cough, as if she were ready to simply switch off. The needle was pointing to empty and red, a precarious feeling of worry and dread. Chris. Maddie, my hinny, did you fill the tank? Or is there a hole where the petrol once sank? Matty. I thought I had enough to get through the night, but this situation is looking quite tight. Narrator. They pulled to the shoulder of the A10 road, as Mandy became a quite heavy abode. FX, the hiss of the hazard lights and the patter of rain on the roof. Narrator. Stuck in the dark with the rain coming down, far from the lights of a welcoming town. The sisters were hungry. The dog gave a sigh, as heavy gray clouds filled the London sky. Lily May. This is abysmal. We're stuck in the rain. My revision timetable is going down the drain. Rosie. Let's pray to the Lord, Rosie said with a nod. There's no such thing as a too hard for God. Narrator. They held hands together and bowed every head, for God provides for us, as the Bible has said. Narrator. A rumble was heard, then a flash of bright light as a tow truck appeared through the gloom of the night. The driver was Axel, a man with a grin, who didn't mind getting quite wet to his skin. Axel. All right, my old beauties? You've run out of juice? Let's get this big blue bird out of the loose. Maddie. Thank you, kind Axel. You're a blessing indeed. You've come to our rescue in our hour of need. Narrator. He hooked up the motorhome, sturdy and strong, and towed the whole family right back where they belong. Narrator. He dropped them at Lee Valley, the campsite so green, but it was the wettest place ever been seen. The mud was like chocolate, the grass was a lake, and Maddie was making a second mistake. Chris. At least we are here, though we're soggy and damp. Let's set up the tent and the kerosene lamp. Poppy. It's dark and it's nebulous. I don't like the trees. Can we go inside, Mummy? Please, please, please. Narrator. The wind started howling, a cold, biting breeze that rattled the leaves of the shivering trees. Narrator. Marty searched in the back, in the dark and the cold, for the tent that was yellow and sturdy and old. He looked in the boxes, he looked in the crate, but realized his error a little too late. Maddie. Lily May, honey, did you pack the tent? Or the sleeping bags where the girls' dreams are spent? Lily May. I thought you had packed them. Oh, Bucks, we're doomed. This camping disaster has finally bloomed. Narrator. No tent and no bags for a bed on the ground, the family felt like they'd never be found. Narrator. Chris tried to find dinner, some comfort to bring, but fate had another quite terrible sting. The bags had been jostled and tumbled and tossed, and all of their dinner was suddenly lost. Chris, the tomatoes are squashed. They're a puddle of red. And the apple crumble is soiled, she said. Lily May. I dropped the bag, Mum. I'm a misshugna lass. The custard is soaking right into the grass. Narrator. Their meal was a ruin, a bittersweet sight, as hunger began to take hold for the night. Narrator. Then Teapot decided to join in the fun. She saw that the sausages hadn't been done. She hopped through the mud with a wag of her tail and snatched up the meat like a dog on a trail. Poppy. Teapot. Stop that. That's our only food. You're being a dog who is terribly rude. Narrator. The terrier chomped with a look of pure glee, as happy as any small doggy could be. Poppy. She's eaten a lot. Every banger and link. This trip is a failure, I really do think. Narrator. Marty felt low, his heart full of shame. He felt that his planning was mostly to blame. But Rosie stepped forward and gave him a hug, as warm as a cocoa inside of a mug. Rosie. Don't be so sad, Dad. It's only a test. We know that you always give us your best. The Lord says in Matthew, where 2 or 3 meet, He's right there among us, making life sweet. Maddie. You're right, little Rosie. My chutzpah was high. But I forgot that we need the great king in the sky. Narrator. The rain didn't stop and the wind didn't cease. They couldn't find any campsite-based peace. So Maddie made a choice that was resilient and bold. to keep his young family away from the cold. Chris, we can't sleep in Mandy. She's freezing and small, and we haven't got blankets or pillows at all. Lily May, I'll call for a taxi, a proper big car, to take us all home, since it isn't that far. Narrator, they left the poor motorhome there in the park to wait for the mechanic to come after dark. Narrator, a luxury car came with leather and chrome, a Mercedes-Benz to take them all home. The driver was Kingsley. In a suit and a tie, he looked at the family and gave a small sigh. Kingsley, you look like you've been through a war or a flood. Why are your shoes covered deeply in mud? Poppy, we went for a camping trip, Kingsley, you see, but the stars and the rain didn't want to agree. Narrator, they piled in the back. It was warm and so dry as the fancy Mercedes began to fly by. Narrator, the ride back to London was smooth and was fast. The chaos of camping was finally past. Lily May took her notes out and started to read, as the car gave her all of the light she would need. Lily May, this is much better. I can study in style. I haven't felt this relaxed for a while. Rosie, I'm glad we are going back to Merritt Road. I miss our own garden and humble abode. Narrator, they whispered a prayer as they sped through the night, thankful for safety and Kingsley's headlights. Narrator, they reached 33 and they hopped on the curb. The silence of London was quite superb. Maddie paid Kingsley and gave him a tip for saving them all from their disastrous trip. Maddie, we're home, Chris, my darling. The journey is done, though we didn't have even a moment of sun. Chris, but we're all together, and that is the key. A family of 5, plus a dog, as you see. Narrator, they unlocked the front door and stepped into the hall, feeling quite lucky and blessed by it all. Narrator, but the girls didn't want the adventure to end, so they made a new plan on which they could depend. They went to the garden, where the grass was quite dry, under the glow of the big London sky. Poppy, let's camp in the garden. It's safe and it's near, and Teapot can't run away, that is quite clear. Narrator, they brought out the duvets and pillows so white, and set up a camp for the rest of the night. Teapot, FX, a happy sharp yip. Narrator, Chris went to the kitchen and turned on the heat to make them a special and sugary treat. No squashed tomatoes or soiled fruit pie. She had a much better idea to try. Rosie, is it bread and butter pudding? My favorite one? With raisins and sugar and plenty of fun? Chris, it is, little Rosie. And chocolate that's hot. It's the best kind of camping food that we've got. Narrator, the smell of the cinnamon filled up the air, a delicious response to their roadside prayer. Narrator, they sat in the garden, all huddled and warm, away from the rain and the reach of the storm. The stars started peeking from behind a dark cloud, and Maddie felt humble and happy and proud. Maddie, look up, Lily May. Can you see the Great Bear? God put those stars in the sky with such care. Lily May, they're beautiful, Dad, better than any book. It's amazing what happens when you stop and look. Narrator, her stress about school seemed to melt right away as she looked at the heavens in a brand new way. Narrator, they ate every crumb of the pudding so sweet and felt the soft grass underneath their bare feet. They didn't need valleys or motorhomes blue to find that their love was both steady and true. Rosie, good night, little Poppy. Good night, Teapot, too, Poppy. Good night, sisters. I'm glad I'm with you. Narrator, so if your own plans ever seem to go wrong, just remember this family and their happy song. With faith in your heart and your family near, there's nothing. Narrator, they said. Narrator, they ate every crumb of the pudding so sweet and felt the soft grass underneath their bare feet. They didn't need valleys or motorhomes blue to find that their love was both steady and true. Rosie, good night, little Poppy. Good night, Teapot, too, Poppy. Good night, sisters. I'm glad I'm with you. Narrator, so if your own plans ever seem to go wrong, just remember this family and their happy song. With faith in your heart and your family near, there's nothing on earth that you ever should fear. FX. A final, contented sigh from the whole family.